Bismillah Rahman Rahim, Assalamu Alaikum and welcome to Sports Extra. I'm your host Ahmed Nawaz with the latest roundup of sports today. Let's take a look at what we're discussing. There are some interesting things on the card. Pakistan team has now arrived in Zimbabwe for their 3-match ODI series and 3-match T20 international series as well. The series of course starts on the 24th with the first one international of the series as well. A lot is to be said about this series obviously because we are looking at trying some new combinations, some new players. This is the right moment for us to increase our bench strength as well and give them a full share of the series as well. Don't just, give them a couple of games and start deciding what they're going to do. So we're going to be looking forward to this series. Obviously 3 one-days and then 3 T20s of how the series unfolds. But for Zimbabwe, I must give them credit. They're a very talented side. They can surprise you on any given day. And if you're looking at their ODI and T20 squad, they're looking to give at least 2 to 3 debuts as well. Sikandar Raza is going to be leading the T20 side and Craig Irvine is going to be leading the one international side as well. So we're going to be discussing all of this in detail and what should be Pakistan's prospects, not just in this series, but the planning and execution phase going forward as well. Then of course we move on and we come to very emotional news as well, which is of course that El Matador, Rafael Nadal, has called it curtains on his career. He lost his probably career's last match and it's been a legacy that now comes to an end. The king of clay court obviously has been superb. Injury marred career has been a trouble for him, but his rivalry with Roger Federer is what has kept the sport alive, for me at least. This is a personal opinion, but I think tennis has been kept alive. And then we saw the change of guard with Andy Murray for a while. Then Novak Djokovic came onto the scene, but Federer and Rafa were still there. Then Federer called curtain and Rafa kept on pushing himself to every extreme. The energy was still there and despite injuries, he was still pushing himself every day. It's just been a fantastic career. Anybody who's followed the true tennis since a century now would probably, consider this to be a great moment that now, a great era comes to an end as well. So we'll of course be discussing that in detail as well. And there are a lot of happenings that we are discussing. And then we also discuss with you the youth games as well, which are off to a fantastic start. We've got to talk about how youth play a very, very important role when it comes to these games as well. And this is of course the Prime Minister's University Olympiad that is underway. So we're going to be giving you all the details. And then, youth, how they play an important role when it comes to finding the new future for sports in Pakistan as well. That will also be discussed on the show. Time now to introduce our guest. First of all, joining us in studios is cricket commentator, international broadcaster, presenter and our sports expert Asif Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum. How are you, sir?
Walaikum assalam, Ahmed. I'm perfect. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. We've also been joined by first-class cricketer and expert Kashif Majid. Assalamu alaikum, Kashif. How are you?
Walaikum assalam, Ahmed. Perfectly all right.
Right, of course, we're going to be discussing things in detail, but before I give you the details, I just want to take this moment and express sorrow and grief because former cricketer and umpire has passed away. We're going to be sending out condolence messages as well. Nazir Jr. passed away and there have been condolence messages from Chairman Pakistan Cricket Board who expressed sadness and sorrow over the demise, and also the Honourable Prime Minister Mr. Mohammad Shehbaz Sharif also expressed sorrow and grief. He prayed for the departed soul as well and of course he prayed for courage to the bereaved family as well. A tremendous service for Pakistan cricket and we of course stand shoulder to shoulder with his family and mourn this loss with them as well. May Allah Almighty bless his soul and grant courage to the family as well. That being said, Pakistan has arrived in Zimbabwe. Let's take a look at this report.
Pakistan men's cricket team has arrived in Zimbabwe for their upcoming white ball series, which includes both ODI and T20 international matches. The squad travelled in 2 groups. The first group of 10 players flew directly from Pakistan, while the second group of 5 players who had been part of the T20 international series against Australia arrived after a stopover in the Bay. This series will see some key players rested, including Babar Azam, Shaheen Shah Afridi and Naseem Shah, while Mohammad Rizwan, the team captain, will only participate in the ODI series. The one-day international series will start on November 24th, with the second and third matches scheduled for November 26th and 28th. After the ODIs, Pakistan and Zimbabwe will face off in a 3-match T20 international series, with the first match set for December 1st, the second on December 3rd, and the final one on December 5th. This tour presents an opportunity for many young and emerging players to showcase their talent on the international stage.
And there you have it. The team has arrived in Zimbabwe. Details in this report. Asif, how are you looking forward to this series? What kind of opportunities does this series give us?
I'm so happy that in ODI squad, I cannot see Babar Azam there. So it's a very, very good news for Pakistan, for the youngsters, because you know that Babar Azam is a premier player for Pakistan, backbone for Pakistan. It's the time to give opportunities to the youngsters and give some rest to the senior players like Babar Azam, and Mohammad Rizwan will be leading. And same in the T20 squad, you won't find Mohammad Rizwan there, and Salman Ali Agha will be leading as skipper. So these are very good gestures and opportunities for the youngsters to showcase their talent. See if Saim Ayub will be playing in T20. Once again, he's not there in ODI side. I would love to watch Hasibullah because the way he has started, I love him. I loved his technique, especially when I was watching him in domestic cricket. If you see his domestic record, his average is around 40, which is very impressive. And other players like Arafat Minhas and Amir Jamal, they will be getting chance. Amir Jamal will be playing in ODI. So you see that the Zimbabwean squads, they have different skippers for the different formats. In T20, of course, Sikandar Raza is leading side, and recently they have scored world record and in an ICC qualifier. So I think that Zimbabwe, the T20 will be expecting something, you know, some good games, but ODI, of course, that Pakistan is dominating. Pakistan have beaten Australia recently. So the Pakistani team, they're looking well gelled up, and the coaching staff now, they will, of course, Aqib Javed will be joining them as interim head coach, and rest, everything is looking good. A very, very good and golden opportunity for the youngsters to showcase their talent.
Absolutely. 64 matches between Zimbabwe and Pakistan in one-day internationals, and Pakistan has stood victorious in 54 of them, while 5 matches went to Zimbabwe, and of course the remaining went to a no result. So I think interestingly, of course, Pakistan dominates, but there have been some challenges for us recently as well. But right now, I think confidence should be sky high in one-day internationals. But what kind of opportunity is this, Kashif, if we talk about trying some new names and, you know, developing a new bench strength for Pakistan?
I guess this is very important for the Pakistan cricket to find out who is the new upcoming star, rising star for the Pakistani cricket, and provide him the opportunity to play for the Pakistan. Playing for Pakistan against any side has always been a challenge, because you coming into the national side, representing that star, representing that green shirt, and entering into the international arena. It's just not an easy job. There's so many nerves, and it's good for the Pakistani cricket that newcomers come in this series, and we can try our bench strength, because nowadays we are talking about cricket happening so much around that we need at least 20 ready to play match fit players available for any team, and most probably Pakistan is lacking that, because we've been going and playing all those tournaments, all those bilateral series with just 15-16 names. So developing those players is very important, and most probably this is a good series for Pakistan to have just before Champions Trophy and other events, big events coming up. We can find 1 or 2 good players. We can find 1 or 2 good suitable replacement for all those guys who've not been performing well. So let's hope, my fingers are crossed with so many names out there who've been there, and let's see if they can perform, because just recently, as K. Asif said, he is happy Babar Azam is not there. I'm happy for someone who will replace Babar Azam and score as much as Babar Azam. Then most probably I'll be the happiest man ever.
What about the bowling, Kashif? Now I think we've talked a lot about the batting as well. There's been a lot said, but Pakistan's bowling is still lacking that instinct over here. I understand Australia, we were on song, but this is the different challenge now that we see.
Talking about Pakistan's bowling recently, we are lacking those quality spinners. I don't want to use those words, but a conventional spinner is no more part of that white ball cricket nowadays. We need a spinner who can rotate or who can spin the ball both ways. Either he's bowling right arm or left arm. So most probably this is this is something which is missing. Going through last 10-12 years, talk about 2011 World Cup of 50 overs cricket, or just before going to 2009 or something. We've been always there with our quality spin attack, and this is something which is very important for Pakistan. We've lacking quality spinners. And now talk about fast bowlers. They've been potential candidates to replace Shaheen, Naseem, Haris. Ahsanullah and other companies joined Pakistani setup, but eventually they got injured, and now we are again back to that square one position where we see Haris, Naseem and Shaheen Shah Afridi, the potential quality pace attack of ours. And let's not forget the case of Ehsanullah or other fast bowlers who've been quality fast bowlers, but due to some bad management by the medical staff of Pakistan, we just lost them. We can say that there's a case of their negligence as well as the players' negligence, but still the rehab of those players needs some attention. Second important thing, as you mentioned, Pakistan's bowling, I'm not sure if they are going through proper rehab process, because every now and then every injury to our fast bowlers cost at least 5 kilometers of pace of them. Shaheen started 145 and now he is somewhere in mid 30s, 130s. Naseem Shah started 145, now is somewhere in mid 130s. So most probably the rehab is not there, or most probably, let me come up with that very famous word, Asif, the intent of bowling fast is just not there.
Well, I don't want to say interim fast bowlers, but you know, you never know. Asif, you'd like to add to that?
Well, see, if you see recent series of India versus South Africa, they were playing with 4 spinners, and named them Varun Chakravarti, Washington Sundar, Bishnoi, Akshar Patel. So all of them, they were so classical. And now, and Pakistan, only Sufyan Mukim, we were relying on the one spinner, and the other we have only Salman Ali Agha. The fast bowling department, see why Naseem Shah was off color. As you said that in ODI series, Pakistani fast bowlers were on song, but I think exceptionally well bowled by Haris Rauf and Shaheen Shah Afridi. Once again, there is a question mark on Naseem Shah. Hasnan, actually he came after, you know, once again the rehabilitation, and once again as Kashif was saying, that what's going on with the fast bowlers with their injuries. I don't know either Pakistan Cricket Board is now serious with these concerns, because we have lost Ehsanullah. We don't know where is Musa. Thanks God I found him in domestic cricket, because he's a test cricketer. So these are the problems with the Pakistan Cricket Board, the management actually, that how you are managing your cricketers, how you are managing your fast bowlers.
Asif, at the same time, I'd like you to comment not only on this, but I would really, you know, with respect, say this, that now the players also need to learn how to manage themselves. I understand the 90% onus is on the cricket board, but 10%, you know, most of these players who, you know, get celebrity status overnight, they don't do justice to the trust the nation has given them.
That's really important, and it's because credit goes to Pakistan Super League. You know, when you play Pakistan Super League and media talks about you, people, they do write about articles about you, and social media is there. So, and that's why they are so-called stars. They are not performing as much, you know, that when we are expecting a guy who's coming from the domestic cricket or Pakistan Super League, he'll perform so well. Pakistan. What happened with Azam Khan? What happened with Usman Khan? That was the problem.
I'm glad you gave the example of Musa Khan, because I'm glad Musa finally figured out that he's a fast bowler. He was actually opening the innings for his club side in Islamabad, but now he's taken about 3 fifers. He's leading the wickets tally in the Qaid-e-Azam Trophy, and I understand that people have a question of the quality of the domestic cricket that is being played right now. But still, for his confidence, it's very good that he's seeing that I'm the top wicket taker right now.
Ahmed, as we have initiated a debate a couple of days back when you said that a player is performing well in under 19 and he's good with his batting skills, he could improvise, bring him into the international side instead of waiting that he'll play for 2-3 years for domestic circuit.
Only for T20s.
Only for T20s. See why I'm saying that. Even if in T20s you require 100% fitness, you require 100% fit, technically fit, either you're a spinner, fast bowler or a batter. If why Arshdeep Singh is so good in T20 cricket, he has variations. And same, I was watching on the other day that our Abbas Afridi, he was so good with his variations. So if you're good in T20 cricket with your different, you know, techniques, because it's all about that how you could improvise. This cricket is in T20, you need new things.
Look, I don't want to say this. It really is a very strong statement. It might hurt a lot of people, but the only reason Abbas Afridi is this good because he has not spent a lot of time in the Pakistan circuit and NCA. I'm being honest with you. He's been coached by his uncle, of course, and he's been, you know, away from this setup that we have. Whenever we see a talented bowler who joins the Pakistan setup, God knows what happens to him, and we've seen that in the past already. We had a former test cricketer, you know, in charge of the high performance center when we saw, you know, the bowlers who were told to leave their in-swing and start bowling out swings, and they, faded away. We had test cricketers in the Pakistan national side coaching when some of these fast bowlers, young fast bowlers, came and said that, we're not able to do what naturally we do because we're being told not to do that. It's very, very ironic.
Well, I think I will refer this question to Kashif Bhai. Yes, Kashif Bhai.
Okay, since I'm a batsman in the middle order, so let me cope up with the technical situation here. Okay, fast bowlers in NCA. You yourself said, Ahmed, there are a number of ex-Pakistani cricketers running the NCA show. How many of them have qualified as a level 4 coach or level 3 coach, or how many of them are they actually know how to coach a youngster? How many of them have spent their time, their energy coaching a youngster from their own area? Because when we talk about coaching, it's entirely a different ball game. Being very good at bowling fast is something something different, and then asking someone to bowl fast or someone to bowl with different variations is entirely different thing. One thing I'm pretty sure about it is when we talk about a talented guy being a coach, it's always a very bad statement, because a talented guy does not know the shortcuts of the tricks of the trade, the shortcuts of coming up with so many solutions. This is where I always believe someone who have worked hard his way through up up the ranks as a fast bowler or as a batter, that can be a good coaching example. I want to take that name, Asif. Please pay attention. Misbah or Yunus, when we talk about these two guys as a quality coaches for the youngsters, this is just because they haven't been that exceptional talented guy.
But they don't want to work, obviously.
Yes.
Yunus wants complete authority. The cricket board will never give that. Misbah tried to have, that. It's plain simple. He had that authority. He created a very tough culture of fitness, and we saw him being.
No, but you know that, sorry,
Yes.
Kashif Bhai, Misbah was the head coach, same time he was the head of the selection
Conflict of
committee.
interest, yes, conflict of interest,
See,
yes.
I mean, if you want to coach youngsters, then you should go to the National High Performance Center, you go to the under 19, you go to the under 16.
But the question then arises, Asif and Kashif, I think you'll agree that no former cricketer right now wants to work on the junior setup. They just want,
Yes.
the primary job right now.
No former cricketer wants to work with junior setup because of so many financial reasons, so many marketing reasons, so many media hype reasons. How many of us actually know where this high performance center is and who is looking after this high performance center? Nobody knows. Second important thing, with this Pakistani cricket board's culture or setup, every now and then there is a possibility of a rapid change in entire setup. So someone with an international experience, exposure, we asked him to be in the National High Performance Center. He just started his work with the youngsters, and there is a change in the Pakistan Cricket Board setup, and he was asked, or he was sacked, in a very plain words, he was sacked from his post. That means the amount of time and energy he has spent there with the youngsters, this is just this is just a lost cause. So my question still remains the same. When we talk about the world over, these high performance centers are there to stay for the longer version of time, at least 4 to 5 years. There was a time in our lives when we were young, and so does Ahmed, you and Asif, you were too, most probably. So there was a time when we got to know that there is an MRF cricket academy in India and Bangalore that is primarily for the fast bowlers. And after 2 to 3 years, Irfan Pathan, Munaf Patel, Ashish Nehra, and there's a breed of fast bowlers coming through this rank.
But they believed in a long-term process.
This is weird.
For our case, had that academy been in Pakistan, the very first series our bowlers would have been hammered. We would have said thank you very much. So that's what we do as well. But Kashif is absolutely right, and I'd like to highlight to Kashif that Asif is qualified to play in your veterans team as well. So you've got a great setup.
I'm so happy for that.
Absolutely. But that being said, of course, like we told you, that this series is a great opportunity for Pakistan to try out some new combinations, develop a couple of names for the future as well. Now, of course, we move on to a very interesting prospect, and that is, of course, the Prime Minister's University Olympiad that has begun in spectacular fashion in Islamabad. Let's take a look at this report.
The Prime Minister's University Sports Olympiad kicked off with an inaugural ceremony where Rana Mashood Ahmed, chairman of the Prime Minister Youth Programme, was the chief guest. Thousands of university students gathered at the Liaquat Gymnasium to witness the event. Over 3,000 athletes are taking part in the Olympiad, competing in 10 different sports, including athletics, badminton, handball, hockey, judo, swimming, table tennis, volleyball, weightlifting, and wrestling. It's a big event bringing together young talent from universities across the country.
Yes, K. Asif, what would you like to highlight, because this is a spectacular initiative that we're seeing, and obviously, you know, the question of the hour still arises that make it a regular feature. But what kind of opportunity is there for these university students?
Well, Ahmed, yesterday when you were talking to the chairman HEC, and he has highlighted these all prospects, I mean, it's a very good step from Pakistan, government of Pakistan. And Rana Mashood, you know, once again, he is doing his best. I have appreciated him when he has a live video call with the Pakistan hockey team when they were playing final, and they have qualified for the final for the after a long time for Azlan Shah hockey tournament. And then we have watched him with the Pakistan with the Prime Minister when Arshad Nadeem done a miracle for Pakistan. And now once again this is another opportunity, being as Kashif has, and you said that I'm turning now veteran. No, I'm just still under 19. So being a youth, being a young energetic person, I always support these kind of activities from the government, the initiatives they have taken. And for the youth, you know, I do remember my college, school and university time, that in university we used to play cricket. I was the part of the cricket team in college as well.
And this was which year?
It was around, I think, 2019, 2020, 3-4 years back. I don't remember exactly. So anyways, I really appreciate these kind of efforts for the youth.
Well, certainly. Kashif, you've been part of another sport as well. You've seen, you're still part of an educational setup as well. How important is it to, you know, have sports on university, college and school basis, and have them regularly, and also give them a platform for competitiveness as well?
I guess hats off to some of the universities to carry on the baton of producing quality players at the national level. I'm saying this because there are certain universities, I can take the name too, there are certain universities who've been providing the financial sponsorship or financial benefit to the quality sports people or sports person or athletes. And this is the competition is so enormous there that it's like the departments are playing against each other, with the coaches, the paid and the professional coaches who've been part of the national setup or the international setup at every game. And if you can allow me, this I know for certain people who've been playing badminton and all those games, they've been paid around 50 to 40,000 per month by the university. Other than they've been taking their regular classes and they've been part of their academic setup. So this is where, with the demise or with the lack of departments up there at the national level, this is where the universities are doing exceptional job of keeping up the hopes of all those young guns alive. And they have to just do one thing. They have to represent their university in those national events.
But Kashif, what's the scenario for the parents as well? Because of that, burden as well of those educational responsibilities, and we've created sort of a race now that unfortunately parents have also discouraged their children to not participate in sports as well, unfortunately.
What if Ahmed, the parent, got to know that his kid will be getting 40,000 from the university, apart from getting the academics or getting the education, which would be free of cost.
Scholarships, yes.
Scholarships. So this is where it's very important, and I'm not talking about some university. We are talking about the top universities in Pakistan. They are just providing those exceptional benefit to those all quality athletes, and just not athletes. People from all walks of the life, students from all walks of the life, they are getting those financial benefits. So this is very important, and I know for a fact that because I was there with you have said yourself that I've been part of another sports, the top-notch players from Pakistan have been playing a quality badminton, and some of them have been coached by the national international coaches, as well as some of them have been national junior champions because they've been playing in those circuit too. So this is very heartening to see, and it's just not university gala. Most probably it's we called it the mini Olympics for Pakistan, or mini national games for Pakistan, because the quality of sporting games, or the quality of sports is very good.
Absolutely. Asif, the right way forward is to invest in the youth. And that's what we're seeing. And I must give credit to the government at this stage, especially the Prime Minister, for establishing a sports endowment fund, for taking the challenge head on and having this University Olympiad as well. And at least recognizing on a state level, it's very important to have that patronage at least, that sports is an imperative part of society.
Well, that's really important, and right now everyone knows that the youth, in last couple of years we have seen that they're frustrated, they're not getting opportunities, and not only in education, sports, but other departments as well. So when in this scenario the government is taking this initiative and bringing sports in the universities, as Kashif Bhai was mentioning rightly, I think two important things that the government should have to continue these kind of activities for long term, not only for 1 or 2 years. And we do not have infrastructure, we do not have grounds, even in universities. I went to one of the top universities in Islamabad today, and I haven't found a proper cricket stadium there, a proper cricket ground there. Yes, the other facilities were there, and then you require indoor games facilities, you require badminton courts, you require tennis courts. So I think that in that scenario, the government has taken the first initiative, and we should appreciate that.
Absolutely, all of us should. But thank you very much, K. Asif and Kashif Majid, for joining us. But like I said, it's an imperative part now that we give them a competitive platform so they can feel that heat of the competition and push themselves and strive, because obviously you can be involved in sports, but unless you see a competitive side to it, you're not going to be entrusted for long. So that is very, very important, and that's what the Prime Minister's University Olympiad is all about, and happening at a fantastic location in Islamabad, the sports complex as well. That being said, Al Matador, the king of clay court, has called curtains on his career. Let's take a look at this report.
Rafael Nadal bids farewell to tennis after Davis Cup exit in Malanga after his final match for Spain, where he lost 2-1 to Netherlands in the Davis Cup. Rafael Nadal's illustrious career came to a close as Spain fell 2-1 to the Netherlands in the Davis Cup quarter-final. The 38-year-old legend has announced last month that this would be his swan song tournament, bringing the curtain down on a career that redefined greatness in men's tennis. Hopes were high that Rafael Nadal would cap his career by leading Spain to Davis Cup glory on home soil. However, the Netherlands dashed those dreams in a tennis quarter-final tie. While Nadal's record-breaking 22 Grand Slam titles, including an unparalleled 14 French Open crowns, will forever be etched in tennis history, the man himself hopes to be remembered for more than just numbers. In his farewell speech after the Davis Cup, he thanked his fans and shared that he was leaving tennis feeling at peace, proud of the sporting and personal legacy he had created.
There you have it. The standing ovation will forever continue because a legacy now comes to an end. That was the great career of Al Matador, the king of clay court, Rafael Nadal. That's all we have time for. From me and the entire team of Sports Extra, it's goodbye for now.